Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone. I see people trickling in. I apologize for some of the technical difficulties, but it looks like we got things sorted out, and I am starting to see people trickle in. Have some really big announcements today, and I'm really excited about sharing those with you and actually answering a lot of your questions. So we're going to make sure that we deliver today. So I'll just give just a brief moment as people trickle in, see how we can get this rolling and get this show on the road. Give it one moment here. Seeing the people trickling in. So for those of you who are just joining in, I had just mentioned as well, we have some big announcements today. I'll be sharing with those with you towards the end of the AMA. I want to answer a lot of your questions today that I've received through our admins, who've been really fantastic and supportive of us in this time. And they've really gone through some effort to gather your questions, to curate them, and prioritize them and get them to us in order to address those questions that you have, talk about anything of that nature that's on your mind, and I hope to address all of those. So as we're getting started, just a few things in terms of what our game plan is for today. So I want to jump into your questions, address those, and then get into some of the announcements and the kind of the roadmap of where we're going. This is part of our promise to deliver in terms of communicating with you more effectively and also making sure that we deliver on technology and really deliver on what has made Sparkster a hallmark project. With respect to announcements, I'm going to leave those at the end. We're going to focus on substance today. I know at times we haven't been able to get to a lot of your questions as much as we would have liked. So today I'm going to flip the script, and I'm actually going to start off with your questions and actually address those head on. And hopefully we can get some clarity there. And then we get to where we all want to ultimately get to, and that is a successful project, successful Sparkster, where you win, we win, and everyone wins. So having said that, I want to get straight to some of these questions, and then we'll proceed from there. So this is a list that I have, the curated list from our community of questions that have been sought out, and we're going to go straight to them. So the question I have you here is, how many exchanges are you planning on listing Spark on? Great question. So we're planning to list Spark on all the exchanges. And in terms of specifics, we have several exchanges lined up. But at the same time, I want to draw your attention to this reality, which is the truth, that our exchanges want to make sure that they're the first ones who announce this. You can probably appreciate how that is the case with respect to exchanges. And I will shed more light on that towards the end of the AMA as well. So stay tuned on that one. The other question is, do you have a plan for unlock, and are you considering and have spoken to Binance or other top exchanges regarding a listing? So with respect to Binance, Binance is, yes, indeed, certainly an exchange, and I've kind of alluded to that in the previous question. But in terms of an unlock plan, I'm going to be delivering that specifically towards the end of this AMA in terms of what needs to be done, what will be happening, and when these things will be happening with specific dates. So you will get those. When can we expect a mainnet video guide explaining how everything works and some examples of development? Great question. So we will be delivering you an entire series of tutorial videos that will tell you all about how everything works, how the platform works, how the tokens integrate with the platform, and that will be delivered to you in April. Towards the end of April, you will get that. Before April ends, you will get that tutorial video with all those details. They will be highlighted there for you. Can you set an unlock date? And if not, how long before you think this can be achieved? Stay tuned. Can you briefly share with us what kind of things you have ready to launch with an unlock? we don't need specifics, but what is your plan to achieve a successful unlock, wallets, partnerships, etc.? Again, so I'm going to lay out this entire plan, but the short gist of it is token integration. And once we have token integration, we have the unleash of the platform itself for the users. Don't worry, you'll have an entire video series of tutorials that will help walk you through that. In parallel, we also have the exchange conversation that's taking place, and ultimately that leads to an unlock. And so we have some marketing procedures in place, including YouTubers, we have some exchanges in place, and we have partnerships in place. So all of those things will be addressed. Going further on, what are your considerations for a listing on Binance DEX? Great question. When we're ready, we are certainly looking at Binance DEX, no doubt about it, when we're ready. This is a question from Ed Chan. What is your current situation with credits? Okay, great question. I spoke to credits just yesterday. Our standing is great with them. We have a great relationship with them. In fact, I spoke with them at length, and they were telling me about how they had gone through similarly to what we're going through. They have gone through this, and they actually gave us some great advice. They said, communication is key. We couldn't agree more. So this is part of that initiative. In fact, we actually explored and are exploring a further extension of our partnership, a further collaboration. They have some exciting stuff going on their ends, and we actually are exploring that further. So things couldn't be better with credits, actually. Okay, so where are we? Is the money Saj invested in Sparkster to pay costs on a monthly basis seen as an investment by Saj or a loan? It's certainly seen as an investment by Saj. I'd say it speaks to the reality of the matter, which is how much he believes and how confident he is in this project, and how confident we are in investing in this project. So certainly it's an investment. Okay, what else do we have here? Lorenzo asks, what date will the new website be ready? Okay, great. I was hoping to touch on this later on, but the new website will be ready by April 26th. So you'll have a new website ready by April 26th. Okay, BC asks, is the team considering Binance DEX since the listing fee is cheap but is high profile? Yes, as I mentioned earlier, Binance DEX is certainly on the table when we're ready to do that. Absolutely. From Roshi, will you consider promoting Sparkster Unlock with different crypto YouTubers, something like Anchor did before Unlock? Yes, absolutely. We certainly are and will be doing that. That's a very big part, an important part of our marketing strategy, certainly. Okay, what else do we have here? When will there be, Peter asks, when will there be more details about the partnerships and technology? So in terms of our partnerships, I've been pretty clear about this, but I'll reiterate this. As the reality is we have partnerships lined up, and we are waiting for our collaborators to make the announcements on their end. And there's a very particular and specific reason for this. The reason is because they are very prominent companies, and they're very careful about how they disseminate information. And we want to be respectful of that. We cannot precede them in making our announcements. So when they are ready to make their announcements, we will most certainly make those announcements. And I'm sure you can appreciate that because of the prominence of some of these companies, this may take some time, and that's the reality of the matter. In terms of technology, I'll be laying that out in further detail, but certainly in Q2 and Q3, you'll be getting major releases and more information with respect to that. As our technology rolls out, we're going to be giving you detailed articles as well as tutorials on all aspects of the technology. So stay tuned for that. Can you please explain why some exchanges and wallets like Blockfolio have Spark listed with the same logo and same ticker? You don't see this with other projects. Okay, so if they've done so, on their own merit, on their own prerogative, and that's on them. With respect to other projects, I can't really speak to that, but we haven't officially listed ourselves on any project, on any platform as of yet. That will be happening very soon. Okay. From Maddie, regarding a Medium Tech article that was promised already 3 weeks ago that addresses token utility, integration, hardware nodes, Labellium kits, and no-code platform. Okay, great. So I do apologize for the delay, sincerely. We will be giving you tutorials, video tutorials on the integration aspects, on how the tokens work with the platform, on all those things that you mentioned in terms of integration, on the hardware nodes. All of these things will be released very shortly in the timeline that I'm about to give you in the next few minutes. Did Sparkster sell any tokens to US citizens? Great question. So we've been extremely clear about this from the beginning. Through our really rigorous KYC AML process, Sparkster did not sell any tokens to US citizens. In fact, we made sure that we did not sell tokens to several citizens of several countries, including China, sanctioned nations, and including definitely the United States. In fact, we even had geolocations. We blocked IPs from certain nations, those ones that were not accepted. So we have made every precaution from our end to ensure that U.S. citizens do not participate, as well as citizens of other countries such as China and sanctioned nations. Okay. Were any influencers paid by Sparkster? Were any refunded? No influencers were paid a dime by Sparkster, not a penny. Neither were they refunded. So that's the short, sweet answer to that. Did Sparkster liquidate assets? Sparkster did liquidate approximately $2 million in Ether. When will the team's tokens be released? Okay, so we've been really, really clear about this from the beginning. We've always maintained that our token, that is the team's tokens, will be locked for 2 years after unlock for the general public. So any type of allegation that we're trying to draw this out, for example, in some way, is unfounded and baseless. Our tokens unlock 2 years after yours unlock. Period. End of story. What else do we have here? What happened with Ian Balina, and did you issue him a refund? Okay, so Ian's an investor of ours. We have a good relationship with Ian. We had a fundamental difference of opinion with Ian. Ian had a particular view on when unlock should happen. But like any investor of ours, he has a view and he has an opinion, and we respect that. And he's entitled to that. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And we didn't really see eye to eye on that matter. But nonetheless, we're in communication. We're in constant communication with Ian, and we respect his view. But we didn't see eye to eye on that matter. And I've already said nobody's been paid a dime, nor has anyone been refunded. So he has not been refunded. But again, I can't stress the point enough that we didn't pay any influencer a dime, and especially not Ian. So if you're making allegations against him that he's been paid, knock it off. It's absurd. It's unfounded, and it's unreasonable. So there's that. Having looked into a lot of these, I think another question that I have here is with respect to masternodes. Okay, so can you please explain how masternodes work and how will people be able to stake their tokens upon unlock? So with respect to masternodes, I mentioned in previous AMAs, but I'll remind you here that we haven't changed anything in terms of our strategic direction. Our masternodes are simply storage and compute nodes. But why are these needed? In terms of one of the problems that we're solving at Sparkster, that is the issue of latency. It's really important that hardware nodes are geolocated close to where the data is. And hardware nodes allow us to realize that vision. They actually help us achieve that goal by making sure that the nodes are close to where the data lies. What this allows us to do is cut latency issues or delays for lay people in half, essentially. And lower latency or lower delays, if you're thinking about, for example, a emergency management system where there are ambulances and there's an accident that's happened on the road and lives are at stake, lower latencies means saved lives. And when you have hardware nodes that are actually in closer physical proximity to the data, you're able to get that information out to those emergency management systems, and you're actually able to save lives. So that's really the essence of what hardware nodes are. But I want to emphasize they're still storage and compute nodes. Nothing about that's changed. But you may desire more. So we will be releasing an article in detail on hardware nodes, how they work. That will be delivered towards the end of Q2, beginning of Q3. You'll have that information with respect to all the details about hardware nodes. So what else do we have here? So where are we at with respect to the TPS on the Sparkster decentralized cloud? Okay, so we released the alpha version of the platform, and we've consistently always said that we have 1,000 TPS per cell. The alpha that we've released is that single cell 1,000 TPS. We have delivered on that. We've said it. That's a reality. What we're working on and what we'll be delivering in Q3 is our beta. The beta is going to be a multi-cell network. So we're basically going to scale that out from one cell to several cells. And that's where we are in that progression. That's really where we're getting at in terms of delivering that. So that comes in Q3. We've already done a public demonstration of 100,000 TPS. And we'll also be doing a demonstration leading up to the beta release, but that's happening Q3 this year. So the question is Sparkster no-code platform in MIT Scratch App Inventor? Okay, this question's come up a couple of times, so I want to make that clear. From the beginning, we've always said that MIT Scratch is the inspiration behind the Sparkster no-code platform. And the reason for that is that there's a particular question that the no-code platform looked at. And that was, can children create games using blocks of logic? And what we did at Sparkster is we extended that question further and said that, well, if kids can create games using this platform, well, why can't we create enterprise software for adults using this type of methodology, if you will? So, having said that, we set out on this journey of creating the no-code platform. But at the same time, it's really, really important to notice that what App Inventor is able to do and what the Sparkster platform is able to do are two very different things. App Inventor, as its name suggests, is focused on building apps. And some of these can be pretty simple in nature. Sparkster takes that and puts it to the next level. And it allows you to integrate with APIs, REST APIs. It allows you to integrate and create enterprise-grade software. It's really powerful in terms of what it can deliver. So in terms of the interface and what you see, there's a lot of similarities there. And that's by design. The reason for that is very clearly that MIT has done a lot of research and they found that this is what is intuitive for people. And therefore, it makes sense for us at Sparkster to not reinvent the wheel in this regard and rather make sure that we use the thing that is most intuitive for people, because that's what leads to adoption. At the same time, but what's behind the hood is very different. You'll find that the engine that is behind Sparkster is much, much more powerful than MIT Scratch App Inventor. Because it's just much more robust in terms of what it's capable of doing. They're not in the same league in terms of power. The App Inventor is maybe perhaps you can think of it as the little brother of Sparkster. So we've been very clear about the fact that we're inspired by MIT, but at the same time, what's under the hood is very different, and Sparkster is much more robust in that regard. So I think I've shed a bit of light on that. So I think we're at the 20-minute mark or so. So there's some really big things that I want to mention now. So I won't take too much on that front. So as part of our commitment to communication to you, this was the first step in a three-part process. That is the AMA. The second step is an FAQ that we'll be releasing to you, that is to our community. And the third is an updated roadmap. So you'll be getting all of these things right now, actually. So today you'll be getting the questions, the FAQs that we've created. You'll also be getting an updated roadmap to help you understand where we're going as a company in the next few months, up until the end of 2019. The first big announcement that I have to make is with respect to the bounty program. I know some of you asked with respect to that. We are drawing the bounty program to a close on March 31st. That will be the last day of the bounty program. It will draw to a conclusion on the 31st of this month. With respect to the announcement of the leadership board, we will be announcing the leadership board, the leaders board for the bounty program on April 12th. So that's really exciting news that we're really excited about here, and I hope you are as well. In terms of where we're getting to ultimately in the next few weeks, I want to lay the groundwork about what's happening. So we have the token integration that's happening. And again, like I said, we're going to have videos on all of these to walk you through this. So don't worry about that. So we have, what do we have to do? We have to have the tokens integrated. And then we have to release the platform. And also simultaneous to this, we have to have our conversations with exchanges and finalize those to make that public to all the stakeholders. And then ultimately we have the unlock, and that's the procedure that we'll be following. With respect to the bounty program, I just mentioned that to you. With respect to an updated website, I just mentioned that earlier in the question and answer session that we'll be releasing that by the end of April. April 26th, you'll have that. The tutorial videos will also be up by the end of April. So you will be ready to hit the ground running, and you will be able to launch at that very point in time. As you can see, and you can infer from the things that I've just mentioned, we're getting very close to where we want to be. Another point that I want to draw your attention to, that because it has been come up, many of you have private messaged me and others in our team with respect to excuse me, some of the unfounded allegations, some of the uncertainty, some of the doubt that's been created by certain individuals in the sphere, people who are not Sparkster token holders, by the way. And what is our response to that? Question that has come up is, will we be taking legal action against Crypto Ernie and those perpetrators involved with him? And the answer to that is absolutely yes, we will be. We have consulted our legal counsel in the US and the UK, and will be taking the strongest action possible in that regard. In fact, I invite you to actually join us in this pursuit of this lawsuit, and we will be taking on all the legal costs with respect to that. But absolutely, rest assured, we will be taking the strongest possible legal action with respect to this situation against Crypto Ernie and all the perpetrators involved with him. So having said that, all of these things culminate to what you and I have all been waiting for, and that is a date for unlock. And I'm really excited and I'm really pleased to announce that we at Sparkster have determined a date for unlock, and that date will be April 30th. The 30th of April, we will unlock Sparkster's tokens, and you will be able to get those unlocked tokens. Prior to that, you will be getting video tutorials at the end of April, roughly the 29th or prior of April, that walk you through the whole process of how these tokens integrate and work together in our platform. And all of these things will be relayed onto you further. I've also mentioned that you will be getting an updated roadmap, and you will be getting the FAQs within 24 hours. This is part of our commitment to make sure that we communicate with you and we deliver on our promises. And once the unlock happens at the end of April, we will focus our attention on primarily two things more than anything else, and that will be getting enterprise customers on the business side, and on the technology side, delivering the best possible beta that we can deliver. And after that delivery, after all our attention is focused on the delivery of that beta, we will be focused on optimizing the stability, security, and availability of that network in order to give you the best results. And look for that updated roadmap that gives you all the details on those matters. So all in all, I'm really excited to make the announcement about when we're going to be unlocking, about the bounty programs, and about when our website's coming, about the roadmap, about all of the video tutorials that'll be coming just next month. All of these things are happening very soon. We're delivering on them. And at this time, I would like to invite you, that is our community, to really unite together, to get together and make this the most successful unlock possible, the most successful launch possible, to be united. And at this point, I think it's safe to say, let's spark it up. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the group soon. Thanks.